edition of the Archeryshack Shop Talk. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
We are on podcast 72. Thanks for tuning in. If you didn't hear last week, we got a cool giveaway with some Black Eagle arrows. I'll put the link in the description. You just got to click it and type in pretty much your name and I think email address, and we're going to random draw somebody to win the 6-pack of Renegades at the end of the month. So that'll be cool. Thanks for everybody that's already entered. I know we got a lot of folks already in there. So that's good. We went live last Thursday. We got that new PSE Embark in. Nice shooting bow. We've had time to play with it a little bit. I like it because there's no cam lean. It's just a well-built bow.
Yeah, it is.
So I hadn't recorded like a full-blown review just yet, but I'll get it going soon when we get a second. We've had a busy day today, a lot of foot traffic, and we are converting our shop to the LED lights over like the old school fluorescent lights. So we got it about 70% done, and it's not too hard to switch over, but it's going to be a lot brighter. It's starting to get there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool, and hopefully save some money in the power bill, because the power bill is crazy.
Yep.
It is crazy. We had all kind of stuff happen this week. We had expedition bows released, some PSE bows released.
Expedition released. If you didn't already say expedition.
I'm missing something else. I guess that's the two main ones. But PSE came out with some more knock-on type bows called the Evil EVL. We're being told it'll be a month or two before they really start shipping them, but we got some stuff coming. We're not an expedition dealer, but it would be nice to shoot one of those bows. They blended some metal a little different, I guess made it lighter weight. I hadn't really read into it a whole lot, but it's supposed to be a lightweight bow that shoots good, so that's cool. This is funny because this week, as we're recording this, we would actually have been at the ATA show.
Yep.
Actually on the way back by now, but so it's been a weird week, and so they're doing a virtual show this coming week, which I don't really know, hadn't really read up on, so I guess it's just more or less the dealers will log in and see some specials or whatever, but I'm curious to see, maybe something cool will happen. Maybe there'll be some kind of, I don't know, maybe something cool to get released. So I would think, PSE released what would have been the first day of the ATA show. So maybe there's a few folks holding out to when the virtual show is. Maybe we'll get some more products released this coming week. We'll be able to talk about on our live feed Thursday. If you're new here, we go live on this same YouTube channel Thursday evenings, usually around 6. If there's people in the shop or something's going on, sometimes it might be a little earlier, a little later, but around 6. And so check that out. We just kind of chat with everybody. We've taken a lot of bows this week. I don't think there will be a normal year again. A typical year is pretty much right after Christmas, you get some folks come in to get their Christmas bows set up, and then it's just kind of dead, and there's some tournament folk. But we've had just a lot of regular old hunting bows dropped off to be restrung and tuned and this, that, and the other. Just what a weird last 12 months.
I just think that, a lot of people that, we, told back during the busy season, they didn't want to wait. They wanted to get out in the woods, and, their streams wouldn't make them through the season. I guess a lot of those people are starting to bring them in to maybe get a head jump start on everybody. But
yeah,
back to the ATA show, I was reading somewhere where I think they're going to put, like, the manufacturers are going to put videos up.
If it was me, and it's not my show to run, but the way I would have done it would have been, I'd have put out a schedule and said, pretty much gave each manufacturer, say, 15 or 20 minutes and been like, at this time, PSC is going to be on here for 20 minutes. At this time, Matthews, at this time. But then make it available afterwards for the dealers to see.
Yeah.
And then they could have went over what's new, if something's coming out that day, the pricing, the whole 9 yards. That's how I would have done it, but I hadn't seen anything about that yet. I'm not a big fan, because we pay a fee to be in the ATA to start with. And, for us, the main thing is to go to that show, and then we get a little bit of a discount for ordering in January. That way the manufacturers know, all right, here's what we need to have ready to ship throughout the year. And it's not just like, oh, crap, we just got a bunch of orders. But they also do a lot of stuff behind the scenes with conservation and all this stuff that we don't hear a whole lot about. But anyway, for the virtual show, they're offering like a virtual seminar thing, and you got to pay like $80 as a dealer. But we already pay a hefty fee to be in the ATA, so there's no way I'm paying no $80. I thought that was crazy.
I know. I got an email or something from them about the. Now they're saying those courses are free.
It's a different thing.
It is okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's something different. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I don't know what they're. And I mean, they've emailed me a few times, but I do feel like it could have been more something. You know, I don't know. They've had a month or two to kind of figure it out.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is the beginning of the ATA, the beginning for the end of the ATA show?
I don't think we'll know that until later in the year, because I hate it, because we didn't talk about this before. I like to be able to touch the new stuff, even if it's something we don't stock or plan to stock. And if a guy walks in and says something, I like to be able to, we shot it, or we seen it, or we handled it. Here's what we think from, and otherwise we don't know any more than what everybody else can see, which is fine for most stuff. But it's for the bows in particular. It's nice to walk down through there and spend half a day shooting every bow that everybody makes beside each other and say, here's what we think. I mean, that's how we picked up Prime. 2 or 3 years in a row, we were like, these bows shot about the best, or top three, why don't we pick them up? And finally we did. So that's what I'm missing the most. I'm definitely missing that we didn't go.
Yeah.
And it's funny because last year I was like, man, I don't even know if it's worth spending the money to get here and do all this stuff. But we get a discount from most folks for ordering there, but you can also get the discount this time of the year, even if you don't go, pretty much is what it's came down to. And that's why a lot of folks are like, why do we even go? Because everybody gets emailed the deal whether you go or not. But the advantage to me to be able to handle everything and tell people that come in here, here's what I thought about it. Here's, this, that, and the other. It's worth going for that. So I don't know. But I guess the question will be, is it worth the thousands of dollars that each dealer has to spend in hotel rooms, food, getting up there, the whole 9 yards, versus just doing it online? So I don't know. I really don't.
Well, I know they've already reserved. It's going back to Louisville, Kentucky for 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Let's see here. I was trying to find. I had a couple questions come in. Somebody asked, "Is a bow square really necessary anymore?" And the answer to that is probably not. Bow squares were real popular for recurves, and back in the day for like a TM Hunter fork, double prong style rest, because you could just put it where the arrow's at and then look at the square, and it would tell you if you're level or if you're a 8th high or 16th or whatever. But most of the time, folks are just using levels and stuff now. Or there's a bunch of ways to do it. There's a level kit you can order, and I think I usually put it in the description of this video. Some folks hang their bow level and put like a torpedo level on their string, and then let their arrow click on it, and it'll hang level, and then that's how they put their loop on. There's a couple ways to do it, but not many folks are using a bow square. I think you should probably have one if you got a little home shop just to have, but they're like a couple bucks, but not many people, use them anymore. Somebody had asked, what's the best arrow spine selection software you can buy? And I've tried them all, but I always end up going back to Archer's Advantage. So that's kind of my favorite. And we've got the TAP program. There's 3 of them. I've got all 3 of them, or have used them. But I don't know. I just always end up back at Archer's Advantage. It's funny because in like 97-ish, or whenever Archer's Advantage came out, it was on the little floppy drive or whatever. The local guy that I was going to, he was like, you know about computers? And I was a teenager. He's like, you want to go in together and buy this, and you print the sight tapes I need for my bow, but you can have the program or whatever. And I was like, yeah. So we bought it. I made him some sight tapes, a couple times a year or whatever, and it was on old floppy drive, and it was the most basic thing you could find, but it worked, and it was the first time you didn't have to, on your slide bar, you didn't have to have like a cheat sheet, like, 18.3 is 25 yards,
Yeah.
And then it slowly went to a CD, and I always bought it every year or every time it re-updated. And then finally they made it online, so you can just subscribe online and log in through a browser and roll with it. So definitely worth checking out. Real nice folks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Any tips for getting, this reminds me of a video we did, or didn't really mean to do. Any tips for getting a stuck Arrowrest bolt out? Picked up a bow that had a whisker biscuit on it. It's been on there for a long time. Can't budge it with an Allen wrench.
Definitely get you some, like, I wouldn't say WD-40, probably get you some PB Blaster.
Yeah.
And just lay the bow on the table to where the burger hole, you can get a little in there and it can get in the threads. If not, you're probably going to have to take channel locks and somehow get a hold of it.
Yeah, if you can get a hold of that head, like with channel locks or vice grips from the side, that could work. Or you could be careful if you could you don't want to mess the finish of the bow up, but if you could beat the rest up in the back to try to break that bolt loose, that's it. Last resort is drilling the bolt out. You don't want to have to do all that, but if you have to, you have to. But one of those should work. You should be able to get a hold of it with some channel locks or vice grips.
Yeah, definitely don't use WD-40. Use some PB Blaster.
Yeah.
I've used it before on some stuff, and it works. It's a penetrating oil, so it works a little bit better than which WD-40 is too. But
what are you using this for? I'm kidding. I know what we forgot to mention. It's the Black Eagle darting thing. We talked about it on the live feed.
That's it.
Black Eagle, the folks at Black Eagle bought out darting this past week, so that's pretty cool.
I seen where they've got, I guess, a pro shooter lined up to shoot darting, or trying to get him. I seen something on, it was either Facebook or Instagram, one of the two I'd seen. Can't remember the guy's name now.
I think I seen something, but I don't remember who it was.
I can't remember. I think it was a younger cat.
But I'm curious to see in the next 2 years. Nothing will drastically change right now, but in the next couple of years, I think the design of the bows, of the darting bows, will change. And Randy has done well with Black Eagle and Conquest bars, drawing in pros and overall just well as a company. So I think darting could become a bigger player here. I don't know who will be designing them. I don't know if Rex will still make them.
I don't know.
Here's a question. What's the most common string colors you guys see? I want to order a string but not get something too common.
That's a long list.
Well, your main 2 or 3 is flow green and black. It used to be red and black. Red and black was the top up until, I guess, John Dudley became popular, and I don't know how that correlates. But anyway, now fluorescent green and black is probably the most common. Red and black still popular.
Yep.
And then just your basic camo, either a brown and black or a green and black or a green and brown. Flow orange, we do some flow orange and black, but not as near as many as green or red.
If we do flow orange, it's normally a solid color.
Yeah.
It's not really a flow orange and black, unless it's on a mission bow. I know they were factory flow green or flow orange and black, I think, or sunset orange and black.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy Lutz.
Okay. That's who's shooting for darting now.
Yeah.
I think give them a few years, they'll start pulling some people.
I think so too.
They will pull some people. But yeah, the speaking of string materials, we talked about this a little bit on the live. Somebody asked us, but Bloodline Fiber just came out with a glow-in-the-dark bowstring fiber. So we ordered some. It'll be here hopefully next week, within the next 2 weeks. I will be putting that option on the website, but it's priced at about 3 times what a normal spool is. So they're going to be, higher. And I would go ahead and say all this. I would recommend clear serving on them, because if you want the whole thing to glow, you're going to need clear serving.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen it in person yet, but from what I could tell, the pictures that was sent to me, it looks like a yellowish white material just sitting there. And they said, of course, like the sun or whatever kind of charges it, and it would glow from I think it said 15 to 30-ish minutes or 45 or something like that. So I'm curious to play with it. They said they made a first production run of it. If it's popular, they're going to keep making it and offer more colors in it. But like I say, just a heads up, it's a good bit more expensive. So I'll put it on the website as a whole separate part, product, glow in the dark string, whatever. And we could do colorful serving on it. It just will not glow through it,
Yeah.
So you could, with it being a yellowish white, you could do flow yellow serving or flow green or whatever you want to do. It just won't, it won't glow. So as soon as we get it, I will maybe even just a bow we got on the wall to sell. We'll make a set and do a video or some pictures or whatever of it and let you know what we think. Now, it's not the VEC 99 material. It's the regular Bloodline 99. So we could mix it with other regular Bloodline 99, but I just think it would look crazy to have.
Yeah,
I think you're going to go full-blown whole thing out of this glow-in-the-dark, at least until they make more colors in it.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yep.
I need limbs from my old high country bow. Is it possible to find them? Probably not.
Yeah.
High country went out 2 or 3 years ago now. They want to get back. It's the owner was a real nice fella. Was in contact with him over a couple of projects with strings and some camo dipping we were doing and this sort of thing. He wants to get back in it. He's actually a professional pilot. So he was looking for some, like a angel investor or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know I hadn't talked to him or anybody that is around him in about a year, but I think that at some point they're wanting to get back in the game, but who knows? I don't know what the status is.
I hadn't heard anything about it.
Let's see. Should I change my cable slide or is it good to go for the life of the bow?
I mean, you can get many, many years out of it. You just have to.
I've never had one break. Now, I've seen a very, very, very few people's break.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously most of them are plastic. But for the most part, you can just roll with it. Now, if you see the string or something cutting into it, go ahead and change it. But
change
most of the time, you don't have to worry about it.
Not unless you just want to change over to like a Saunders Hyperglide or.
Yeah.
I know most of them now. People are switching over to that PSE roller slide. So, you should be good to go. Like I said, unless something just breaks on it.
Heard you guys messed with the Hamsky Arrowrest. Curious to hear your thoughts. I liked it. It's got all the guts of a good Hamsky rest and just a few. It's just built a little smaller and it's a $130 rest. it's a smooth limb driven rest. We will definitely be probably selling a lot of them this year.
The only thing that I wish, and it's not just Hamsky, it's a lot of other companies out there, rest manufacturers, is I wish they would kind of go back to the old school felt they used to send because it stuck to the rest a whole lot better to that blade.
Dropaways in general.
Mm-hmm.
QAD kills me. They send that little rinky-dink crap to try to wrap around that launcher. It never sticks. It'll stick for a minute.
Yeah.
But it never stays on there. We end up having to wrap serving and stuff to hold it on the launcher. It's just a huge pain in the butt. I've always said, why don't somebody make, just for the QAD because it's so popular, almost like a felt glove with a tiny little Velcro thing on the bottom. So you would just slide it over the launcher real tight, pull that little bitty tab and Velcro it to the back.
Yep.
Perfect. Now, it wouldn't be a pain in the butt to make thousands of them, but if for like one or two, it would be a pain in the butt. But it'd be easy. Yeah. It'd be an easy fix. Somebody could make money making them, but I wish QAD would because, man, I hate fooling with their little kits to try to put on there.
But that's really, and then that primer rest, it comes with that new rebound dampener.
That's cool. I need to research more. I know the one thing that the one we put on, he mentioned the launcher is silver, and he's like, I wish that wasn't silver because it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, and he was going to marker it or something. I don't know if there's an option to not be silver or what, but I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can actually change that tail out or the flipper out to one of their other ones. I hadn't done a whole lot of research on that part of it. If it'll take all the other Hamsky style.
Yeah. I don't know
blades or anything else.
I'm not sure either. But, I mean, overall, I'm impressed with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad they came out with it. Now you don't have to spend $200. You can get it for 130, and they will get into a whole different market, I think, because of that rest. Somebody that don't want to spend $200 but will spend the 130, which is pretty much what the QADs kind of start at most of the time. So let's see here. What else we got? How did we like the grip on that Embark bow? I liked it. It's a little wider than I was expecting because it's like an overmolded type rubber grip thing.
Mm-hmm.
But after I shot it a time or two, I was like, I like it, because I done got used to almost all these companies just going bare metal riser,
Yep.
and then we can add wrap or add whatever we want to add. But it's a little bigger, but I liked it.
I mean, I've done got so used to that narrow grip. It took me a minute to get used to it. It kind of, in a way, it kind of feels like the old grip that was on like a Matthew switchback.
Yeah.
It's what it kind of felt like it. And I'm hoping that they make where like different grips where you can put on it and everything, because that would be neat if you can change that grip out. If you make a narrower grip that way, it'd be neat if they do that. But I don't know if they're going to do that or not.
But that's a solid bow. Like
It is.
I've been super impressed with it. After I shot it, I was like, this is a good feeling bow, and it's an $800 bow. And then what sold me 100% was we put it on that draw board, and those cams were, dead on the money, straight, no lean whatsoever. And I was like, okay, because a lot of binary type systems, some of them, I won't mention brands that we've seen problems with, but they'll lean so much that I'm like scared to shoot them. They're like, if you were to look at it from the top at full draw, it's leaning over past the side of the bow or something, and that's how they come from the factory. And we've dropped some bow companies because of that. But these jokers were straight straight pointed toward each other, and to me that's a big deal.
You might want to knock on some wood just in case the next one that comes in.
That was loud.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we probably got the one good one.
Yeah, I know.
The rest of them, we'll check them as more come. We got
Yeah.
another one of those coming soon, so we'll check it out. How far can I back my 70-pound bow down to?
Depends on the bow.
Yes. Back in the day, and even some now are only 10 pounds down.
Yeah.
But then you got some that'll go way down. You can put like 15 turns out, but don't dare do that. We'd need to know what bow you got. Some bows you can only take 3 turns out, and if you were to try to take more than that, you're gonna get an explosion. So.
Yeah, it just depends on the bow, and you can go into Google and type in how many turns can I take out of my.
Oh yeah, you probably find it.
Matthew switchback or PSE Dream Season Evo, or you can go on Google, and most of the time you can find that info. And if it is already backed out, go ahead and crank them limbs all the way down to max them out, and then count your turns out.
Yeah. Somebody asked, we've talked about this before, but it's been a few weeks, what does it cost to ship a bow, and what's the best way? The post office is the cheapest, but right now they're still behind from the Christmas COVID mess.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've seen some stuff get there in 2 or 3 days like normal, and I've seen other stuff take a month, and it's out of the shipper's hands. And it seems like if it has to go through a bigger city hub, that's when it's getting kind of stuck.
Yeah.
But if, it's really all about like where it's going. So we're on the East Coast. I've shipped up to New York and over to sort of Kansas area, and it's only been $20 or less. I've paid as little as $11 or $12 before. But I've shipped to California and Washington State, and probably the most I've paid that I can think of is about $60 through the post office. If you go UPS, you're going to pay some more. Usually UPS, from what I've seen when I've shipped UPS and FedEx as well, kind of between high 20s up to about $100, according to where it's going. So I would get the shipping insurance. Typically what I do, unless somebody tells me to do it different, is I'll just go to the post office, go that route, ship it in a bow box, and I'll buy all the insurance, which will add a few bucks. It's really not that much more money, $10 or something to cover the cost of the bow. Sometimes a little more, but That way, if they lose it, you'll get reimbursed. But I have rarely had. Honestly, I can't think of the last time they actually completely lost a bow. We've had a few boxes come in sketchy, but honestly, the last couple come in that was that beat up was from UPS.
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
Oh, well, yeah. That last one we got in over there, it looked like it'd been left out in the rain and fell off the fed. Well, I can't even remember how it came, but it fell off the back of the truck, did about 3 cartwheels, and slid a 1/4 mile.
So, yeah, just package it good. A lot of bubble wrap. Go to Walmart or wherever and get a whole roll of bubble wrap, wrap it, and then I'll put bubble wrap in the bottom so the cam's got cushion top and bottom. And that's, pretty much it. And make sure, people call us all the time. I usually don't throw away bow boxes. I mean, in our attic over here, we've got probably 50 of them, probably 100 of them. I mean, I don't know. And we'll give people bow boxes all the time. I don't mind doing it. I don't know if shops sometimes get pissy about it or not, but I don't mind giving out bow boxes. And if you can get one, that's fine. I mean, we've had stuff shipped in homemade boxes, but sometimes they get a little sketchy and fall apart. So.
I had one shipped in a guitar box.
Yeah. I can't remember all kinds of stuff. I like it when people ship like a bow end to tune in a bow case, but it costs a lot of money to ship it that way because by the time the weight of the case and the bow, instead of it being 7, maybe 8 pounds, it's more like 10, 12, 15 pounds.
Yep.
And you pay some money. But if you do that, zip tie the bow case closed in multiple spots or lock it or whatever you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's built to take some beating,
Well, if you got a key and you do ship it, be sure you ship the key with it.
Yeah, it can be an interesting situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my advice. And then even in the bow case, put a little padding or make sure it's strapped down real good because they're gonna beat and bang it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the easiest if you don't mind, paying the money. And you do that, you looking at $100, $120.
Yep.
So you're getting a little crazy with shipping at that point. But we always just tell folks when you ship us one to tune, we just really need an arrow or two in the bow.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks, they'll take the side off, the whole 9 yards, just leave the rest on it. And that's, as far as the basic getting everything tuned, that's all we need to do. So all we need on it. Anyway, I guess we're about to run out of time on our recorder here, so we will wrap this up. We'll be back next week. We'll be back Thursday for our live feed. Tune in. I've been posting a little more in the Friends of the Archeryshack group on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, look us up, Friends of the Archeryshack. I'm trying to make it more of just a community of let's just chat. You know what I mean? Let's talk about whatever anybody wants to talk about and have some fun. So get on there. Give us a thumbs up on this video if you don't mind. Subscribe if you hadn't already, and we will see you next time.
See y'all.